Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Surely to ruffle some feathers in this video, but I just got to tells it how I sees it. You know what I'm like, I just got to tells it how I sees it. Now, as you may or may not know, 2 episodes into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I dipped. I thought it was boring. I thought it was race baity. And I had no interest. I didn't identify with these characters who had followed for 8 years in the cinematic universe. It didn't feel like them. They didn't seem to act like them. And it was a huge disappointment. The weeks went by. There was minor discussions about it on Friday Night Tights. Obviously, some little scenes leaked. When I say leaked online, on Twitter, from other episodes, and it looked like this whole thing was a bit of a disaster, to say the least. However, I have to practice what I preach, and because we're coming up to the finale today, and yes, I'm going to be discussing spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the final episode, go check it out. And I do say, if you want to talk about something, criticize something, you got to check it out for yourself, okay? And I had dipped after 2 episodes, so I said to Gary from Nerdrotic, I'm gonna watch the remaining 4 episodes. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna watch the whole series so I can discuss it on Friday Night Tights tonight, 2 p.m. Pacific time, and so I did that. I did that. I went and watched episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I've now seen the whole series. So I'm going to give you my kind of broad thoughts and feelings about this. And then we'll probably go into it a little bit more in Friday Night Tights. I'll try and make it concise, but I'm likely to just go off on tangents and all over the place. But here we go. So, as an overall, how did I find the series? I thought it was pretty dreadful. There were moments that I did like, and I will go into those, don't get me wrong. There were certain characters that I did enjoy when they're on screen, and I will go into that. But there were just these massive glaring issues with the show, which unfortunately would persistently and consistently take me out of the experience, because it either didn't feel like the character or the writers were trying to make scum sympathetic. And to me, it wasn't working, because I could see exactly who they were, and what they stood for. And yet, the main character of the series, Falcon himself, could not see that. And in actual fact, empathized with the terrorists' plight. And I refer to them as terrorists because that is exactly what they are. It's exactly how they behaved. They killed indiscriminately. Or you could say they killed specifically, but they murdered people. They threatened the lives of people. And they acted in a very fascistic manner. I.e., it was either my way or the highway. That does not come from good people. That does come from radicalized people. And so there was a character in this show who was actually correct. And we'll get into that in a bit. So first and foremost, the first episode, I just couldn't deal with the race baity stuff with Sam. And the stuff with Bucky, I thought was okay. I thought it was pretty good, actually. The fact that he now could remember the people that he had killed as the Winter Soldier, and he was trying to go through this book and make good on the people who he had wronged, or at least confess to them what had happened. The second episode just I don't know. It was just like Bucky just turned away from his plot line, only to return to it at the very final moment in the final episode. What a waste. What an absolute waste. of something that was developing that was really interesting and could have really explored the psyche of Bucky now that he was aware, now that he had broken his programming. But no, it was just a throwaway plot to be dealt with at the as a cast off, as a sign off at the end of the final episode. We of course had the Isaac business in episode 2, the black super soldier Captain America, who was jailed, experimented upon, etc. for the serum purposes. By the way, the shield does not have a complicated history, because the shield was made and given to Steve, and then Steve was frozen in the ice with the shield until he came back around and had the shield again. So the shield didn't... they tried to make the shield this complicated historical item, which it wasn't. It wasn't in any shape, way, or form, because that was buried with Steve up in the Arctic or whatever he was. Anywho, episode 3, they bust out Baron Zemo, or they give Baron Zemo the know-how to bust out himself, which he does because he's very proficient. I thought Baron Zemo was a great character. I actually really enjoyed him on screen. And the reason why I really enjoyed Baron Zemo on screen is virtually always, if not always, I'm just going to put a virtually always as a slight caveat just in case. He always said the right thing. He didn't lie. He told it how it was. He explained the radicalization of the Flag Smashers. He didn't lie to Bucky and Sam. He was charismatic. He was calculating, and he was an interesting character. And then I think it was the end of episode 3 that the Dora Milaje turned up. Is it Dora Milaje? Dorma? Milaje turned up because they wanted Zemo. And then episode 4, Baron Zemo kills the person who, or episode 3, I should say, he does kill the person who was creating the super soldier serum for the Flag Smashers. Yes, not a good thing to do, murder somebody. But you understand Zemo's motivations. Zemo's motivations hadn't changed from his character from Civil War. Yeah, his character was a little more light-hearted now, in as much as, you know, he goes to a nightclub and he has a little bop, whatever. And he's not all consumed by the death of his wife and child, although that is mentioned still. But we know why he's doing it. He doesn't want any more of these super soldiers to be developed. He doesn't want any more of these radicalized groups with immense power that can be turned on countries. And there's a great bit where he talks about, did you know what happened to Sokovia after the incident, where the surrounding countries literally just ate into its borders, because now it was just, you know, a smashed piece of rubble because of what had happened with the Age of Ultron. And now Sokovia doesn't even exist. It's wiped off the map. All that's left is a memorial. And of course, no, Sam nor Winter Soldier nor Bucky had gone to it. They just moved on with their lives. And that I thought was quite powerful, because it was just like, yeah, you're a hero. You turn up somewhere, you do your job, and then you go out and you know, did they think of the repercussions? No, they didn't. So I gotta say, a lot of the episodes just merged into one. We had the bit with John Walker, of course, and John Walker being the new Captain America And he's followed them, and he's been following the Flag Smashers, and he's with his partner. And we have that huge fight between the Flag Smashers, Bucky, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and the new Captain America. So they initially try to reason with her, and Walker is just like, no, he loses his patience and charges into the negotiations. The big fight starts, and his partner gets wiped out by a super soldier, who's just a regular human. And he gets killed by Carly, the leader of these super soldier Flag Smashers. So when that happens right in front of your eyes, when your best friend, who you have served with for your country, who you've trusted your life to, very much like Bucky and Steve, when that person is murdered right in front of your face, and you could say he was a soldier, he died in the line of duty, absolutely, but he's also a friend and a partner, and he got murdered right in front of his face, and he lost it. And the Flag Smashers were like, oh shit. They all spread out. He beelined after one. He caught up with them, of course, and they pleaded for their lives, and he killed them with the shield. And then we see that imagery of the blood on the shield. Was that the right thing to do? No. Was it the thing that Steve would have done? We could argue no, Steve would not have done that. But we could play devil's advocate and say, well, Steve never had Bucky killed in front of his face. I mean, he saw Bucky fall from the train, but he didn't excuse me, he didn't have a combatant kill Bucky in front of him. So we don't know how Steve would have responded if that had happened. If somebody had wiped out Bucky in front of him, how would Steve have responded to that? That's all hypothetical, though. And what we do have is an actual, which is how John Walker responded. And John Walker responded by killing a terrorist. Now, I'm pretty sure that if this was reality, he would not receive disciplinary action. I'm pretty sure that if this was reality, it would have been spun that Captain America and his partner, I can't remember the guy's name, so I do apologize, were fighting the Flag Smashers enhanced super soldiers, and unfortunately his partner was, killed in action, and John Walker, had zero tolerance with because it looked like he was already operating off zero tolerance with these Flag Smashers. He didn't just have the shield, he was armed with a gun as well. Now, you're not armed with a sidearm for peaceful purposes. That's used there to either defend, but when you're being attacked and you defend, then you can defend with a gun. So I think in reality, it would have personally been spun as, this was a horrible terrorist who is responsible, who's part of the group that murdered, that bombed and burned alive 3 people, with another 11 going into hospital, and another casualty moments earlier with his friend and partner and co-worker and whatever, best friend. So the way that they immediately went down the pathway of, oh no, it's all over for you, you're going to get court-martial, you'll be lucky not to get court-martial because your record's so good in the army. Just because people were recording it, this was so weighted in one way. Everyone's just looking at him with their phones out like, did he? No. But if that was Osama bin Laden and that was John Walker doing it to him, what would be your response then? And what's the difference? This is a person who is involved with a group going around murdering, aiding and abetting a group going around murdering people, and she even admits, Carly even admits herself that she doesn't, you either get out of my way or you'll become a casualty. Fascistic behavior, not the behavior of a group who you can empathize with, my No Borders group. As the final episode showed, there is a far more complex issue here. And the issue was so complex that Captain America, when it became Sam Wilson, decided, yes, I can't answer your question, Senator, so I'm just going to go on a moralistic fucking soliloquy for a bit. Because I can't answer the questions that you're asking me. Because they are so complex. So there is a fight between the Dormer Milaje and Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier before then, or after then, I can't remember, before then. And that's when we find out that there's a failsafe to take off, Bucky's arm, whatever. I actually didn't mind the Dora Milaje whatever bit. I thought it was okay. I did like the bit where they were going and showing the deprogramming of Bucky. I thought that was pretty cool. I understand that they want Zemo. I understand their motivations. I didn't like when they said, this is out of your jurisdiction, and they said wherever the Dormer Milaje are, that's our jurisdiction. Again, that's very fascistic as well. That, so the writing is all over the place on who it's trying to show you who to root for when they're doing terrible stuff, and then tell you to boo when the person is clearly traumatized by what's happened. And it's so complex, and yet the writers want you to think of it in so basic black and white terms. So episode 5 starts off with John Walker trying to compose himself after the killing of the terrorist, and then Bucky and Sam meet up with him, and they fight, and they eventually defeat him and get the shield off of him. This is episode 5, of course. And then episode 5 just says, we don't have enough plot to last for 6 episodes, so now we're gonna sit on a boat. We're gonna sit on a boat for the rest of the show, folks. What the fuck was that shit? What was that? Just this, we need to rebuild the boat, and then just a very short discussion between Sam and Bucky, which was horrendous. Oh, I didn't know what it was like being a black man handing a shield. Oh, fuck off! It's had nothing to do with color ever until modern day sensibilities come in and fucking ruin everything. Because Hollywood's such a prissy pit of fucking hypocritical twat waffles. Oh my god, it's my BLM. Oh my god, there's. Fuck out of here. It's got nothing to do with it. Never has. So they sit on a boat and they do fuck all. They're just sat there going, what are we doing? Nothing. We're waiting for the final episode because we got nothing. John Walker is discharged. He's not dishonorably, but he's not honorably. He's like discharged in a non-honorable fashion. I don't know. I don't think it's a dishonorable discharge, but it's like not an honorable discharge. It's just like a do one discharge. I hate saying discharge. It sounds like it's coming out of some, part of the body. Then we have, oh God, that woman from Seinfeld, Louise Dreyfus, whatever. And that was, she was embarrassing. She was actually fucking embarrassing. And Zemo, by the way, Zemo's, you know, done one. He ran away during the fight with Adora Milaje and the other guys. But that whole Louis Dreyfus bit was just terrible. I'm Val. You can call me Val, Countess, you know, but you can't call me Val. I am Val. You can call me Val, but don't call me Val. Fuck out of here, woman. You're not being funny. You're not being cutesy. Just get the fuck out of my screen. You're wasting my fucking time on a character that's got more depth than your fucking high heels. So, we have Walker, I believe. This might be episode 6. I don't care anymore. Going to the family of his friend who has fallen, and you know, they said there's not one moment that he didn't say he was so proud to serve next to you, so proud to be by your side every day. And he was like, the character, you know, John Walker is getting more characterization and more of an arc than any fucker in the show. And the show's trying to paint him as a bad guy for the most of it. Oh, yeah, and he souped himself up on... Another reason for killing the terrorist, which I should have mentioned, is he souped himself up on super serum. So he was... didn't want that to happen. So he... You know, he was also not just going through what he went through with his friend being killed, but... You know, the way that the serum affects people, he's also kind of dealing with that as well. And he doesn't want to give up on not being who or what his potential is, which is a good man and a good soldier. It's a good arc. It gets better in episode 6 before they just piss on it a little bit, but whatever. So episode 6 comes around. Oh yeah, Sam does a load of push-ups and twizzles. So episode 6 comes around, and there's going to be a vote on the borders issue. So the Flag Smashers are going to they're going to infiltrate that so they can, you know, change the vote or whatever, or cause the world to see we're going to be nasty people, we're going to kill people, and if you don't do what we say, that's it. You know, fascists, terrorists. That's exactly who they are. And I keep harping on about these names because when they're all defeated at the end, and the senators are saying to Sam, who's now in his Captain America outfit, which is not the best. They're saying thank you for, you know, defeating the terrorists and whatnot. And Sam's just like, we need to like stop calling them like terrorists and stuff. No, Sam, no. They are fucking terrorists, you dickhead. They get what they want through fear and murder. You dumb bint. Dumb bint because he might as well be a woman. It's terrible. The way these writers are terrible in trying to sympathize with terrorism. You know that day in September, America, you kind of like need to do better. Okay? Otherwise that could happen again. You need to do better. And that's what Sam says to the senators. You need to do better. You know, don't worry about the loss of innocence. You gotta do better. And don't call them like terrorists. Call them like people who like to murder you because they have a different perspective and point of viewsies. Fucking eat my ass. So the final episode, they all get into new costumes. Sam's got his Captain America costume, which has been made by the Wakandans. Of course, Wakanda forever. Kiss Wakanda's ass. It's an ethno state, you dumb bints. It's a fucking ethno state, you stupid assholes. And all that kind of stuff. So they do the fighting. And then John Walker turns up. He creates his own shield. Yes, it's not adamantium. It's made out of bin liners. Bin dustbins, not bin liners. It's made out of dustbins and shit. But he turns up wanting to help, wanting to fight. And he does. He starts engaging the Flag Smashers, and he's even fighting the female one. Carly, the one who Sam's just like, oh my god, Carly, I know that you're going around murdering people, but you're so, like, amazing. Oh my god. And he's put into a predicament. He's put into a predicament of, does he go chasing after her and take her down, or does he stop and save this truckload of senators who are going to get murdered? And he stops to help the senators, and he pulls the senators up, but the railing, it gives way, and Sam comes and holds it up and gets the glory for it. But Walker did the right thing. He did the right thing. But then he just gets dead-eyed by Sam all the time because, I don't know. You killed one of my terrorist frenzies? Don't you know that girl's, like, amazing? Now, throughout the show, throughout the episodes, Sharon has turned up. Her character is completely fucked now. She's some bestest ever drug dealer, arms dealer. I don't fucking know anymore. And at the end, it ends up being her shooting Carly, because when Sam gets to fight Carly, he doesn't fight her. He doesn't fight her. You can't have men, like, hit women. You can, it's fantasy. Shut the fuck up, you fucking morons! It's fantasy, and she's souped up and all this kind of stuff. Fuck off. We want equality, but, like, don't really at all. If you want equality, have men fight women. At least fictionally. So Sam is just blocking her attacks, just blocking them. And she's like, fight me, fight me. And he's just like, I can't. I'm such a fucking soy boy. Oh, I can't because I just love your terrorism. Oh my god, can we watch some fucking terrorist porn afterwards? And I can say, oh my god, I totally sympathize with them. Oh, Bloxies, Bloxies. And then Sharon shoots Carly, and Carly's dead. And then Sam just goes off and says to the senators, don't call them terrorists. They're like murderers who, like, do it for reasonsies. Then he says, oh, by the way, I can't answer any of the tough questions that you're asking me, so I'm just going to moralize to you all. Yes, and this is how the world should be. Yada, 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 yada. Even though you've actually presented questions which I can't answer and have admitted in the show I can't answer, I'm just going to pretend that you didn't say them, and I'm just going to say, yes, I don't know the answer to that, and still carry on anyway. And Sharon's like the new main bad guy for some... I don't give a shit! John Walker had a better arc than Bucky or Sam. Zemo had a better arc than Bucky or Sam. Zemo and Walker were the most interesting characters in the show. Zemo was eventually arrested and taken to the raft. And his aging butler blew up a truckload of the Flag Smashers right at the end, which I laughed about. I laughed because I was like, ha ha ha, the fucking terrorist scum got blown up. You know, because they were terrorist scum. So I was like, wow, I'm actually on the side of Baron Zemo in this series, going through all this series. Baron Zemo and Walker had more relatable stories than any of the other characters. And that was pathetic. That is pathetic when your show is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. By the way, the writers can't write women for shit. All the women were the same. All the women were bestest evers. And it's so sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of seeing the same old boring shit with them. And yes, so overall, it was exceedingly disappointing. The race baiting came back in the final episode. I can't even be bothered to address it. I really can't. I don't want to waste my time. But they turned something that had nothing to do with race into race. And they tried to make terrorists, horrible, disgusting, filthy, terrorist, fascistic scum, tried to portray them as sympathetic. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Awful stuff. Awful writing. And like I said, apart from those little bright spots when the show was actually interesting with Zemo and Walker, no, the rest of it was just diabolical. Pretty much dia-fucking-bolical. So there we go. I'm sure a lot of people are pissed off with that. Kind of don't care because that's the way I feel. But I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.